Hi, you are listening to the Father Support Network podcast. This podcast is for single fathers and fathers in general. On this podcast, we educate, inform, guide, encourage, and help fathers navigate the complex challenges of maintaining contact and healthy relationships with their children after separation or divorce. Your host is Dr. Michael Nwankpa. Michael Nwankpa is a father of three who successfully fought for the right of his children to have their father in their lives.
Hello, and happy midweek. As you can see behind me, it's a very nice day, very sunny. We recorded the hottest day so far in UK yesterday, where we had up to 35 degrees. Couldn't even sleep in the night. It was just, I had the windows open and kind of like slept in my natural state. It's mad. Well, anyways, I want to quickly touch on some disturbing article or news that I've just seen. So one was of I think a French couple. I'm not really sure. A mom and an husband, and which will be the stepfather or step whatever, two young kids, I think about 5 and 3. The older one is 5 and 3, whatever. And the parents have abandoned these kids in the woods in I think Portugal. And they were blindfolded and deceived into a kind of like some game, and the parents just abandoned. They were walking for hours and found by some good Samaritan who called the police. And I'll use that in parallel as well to the recent news here in the UK, where a woman that is nearly 70, I think she's 67, Janice Snakes, has been arrested for a crime he committed, allegedly committed 50 years ago, 1978, when she was the stepmom to 2 kids. I think the girl, Andrea, was around 5, and the boy, there was a brother that was about 8 or thereabout. And the 8-year-old boy at that time had come out to tell the authorities that the stepmom actually killed his sister, which is at the time, the girl was immersed in a very hot bath and had 50% burn in her body and died from it. So at the time, the lady said it was an accident. Anyways, those are the contests. So let's use that to say what am I talking about? I'm talking about as single parents, whether it be a single mom or single dad. It applies both ways. Where you've separated from your ex, you've divorced from your ex, and then you have custody of your child, or maybe the other parent is not involved, or is involved in a certain way. Life goes on. You maybe you're young, you need to find a companion, maybe go on and remarry. But there are some people that I've seen that we act in a protective way and protect the child, especially when kids are young. But I've also seen people, personally, that are very selfish, single parents that are selfish, that will think about their own pleasure or think about their own satisfaction and not prioritize their kids. There will even be some that we be accomplice with whoever they're saying that be. But we've heard stories where a mom is selling the child to be abused sexually. We've seen a story where the parents will be aware that the child has been abused by the stepfather and will look the other way. It was the other day, was a film I was watching, I think a series, Black and Beauty, where one of the major characters, Kim, the mom, was aware that abusive husband was abusing this girl and raping every day the kid, and just turned a blind eye and never just accepted that. So I don't know, how do you do? As a single father I've raised kids, it's, I don't know, maybe speaks to someone's moral code. It speaks to someone's upbringing. It speaks to someone's parenting side. But you need to when you make kids, these are your blood. you need to be unselfish. You need to just be unselfish if to do it and find a way. I know sometimes someone becomes a single parent and you don't have a family support. And it can be very, very difficult raising little kids by yourself. And you want your own time. You need time. You need time to have pleasure. You want to go out. You want to... again, I remember a few years ago, a girl here in London had a little baby. I don't know, maybe she was under 2. And she was turning 18. She left the baby in the house, went raving for days. Raved in London, went outside London to rave for days, and the baby died. Can you imagine that? It is sickening. So when you hear stories like this, you hear but wonder about what we are as human beings, the depth of how you can have a child and then not protect a child, or how you can by yourself become an abuser to abuse your own child, to let a stranger come to your child. Personally, I've seen someone that I know personally that allowed a man that's just come into her life to watch her little girl. She's got a daughter, and you can allow that man. I don't care the status of that man, the long-term boyfriend. You don't put your child in that situation where that can happen. And that's what I say to men. I know sometimes it's difficult when these things happen. Relationship can break, and you've got kids in this relationship. I don't know how, but again, I don't know how the system can come in. But again, the system comes when it's financial. The way the system can come in and enforce child maintenance, there needs to be, the society needs to sit down and talk about how to protect children from selfish parents that think about their pleasure, think about their own situation overriding their kids' safety. I don't know, but we need to just do better as a society. We need to do better as a people and put our children first. Children's rights needs to be tightened and reviewed in that regard. But again, I'm not saying, because again, some will come and put children in the force down, but this again doesn't even, the system is just broken. So I know again they're talking about restricting access to social media to kids on the system, but we need to start from small. When you start from small to protect children, really protect them without impinging on the rights of a parent, because sometimes the system can be overbearing in the way they want to break homes, in the way they kind of be intrusive in families and create all of that. But again, where families separate, and then it's really increasing. There might be other incentives. Maybe some parents are just incapable financially. Things are just really difficult and tough, and people just can't cope, and the child unfortunately becomes some kind of casualty. But how do you do it? You need to be unselfish as a parent. Once you have a child, I think for a number of years, you need to dedicate. You need to dedicate time. You need to put safety needs to be on top of it, and no. Some people just get off for a relationship and they jump into another relationship, and from there they bring a new man home, or they bring a woman home, because it goes both ways. I know someone I know personally that till today feels scarred, feels traumatized, feel the burden of how when the dad married his current wife, the stepmom, the ill treatment of them has affected her till tomorrow. This is a grown woman that's become a mother herself, but she can't forget that. So when you're thinking about moving on and having another relationship, you need to think deep. You need to, whoever you're bringing into your life, it needs to be scrutinized. You need to scrutinize what you're bringing into your life. You need to have certain standards they need to fulfill. You just need to put some, even if you do, need to put some safeguard and see how they are. Listen, don't ignore the red flags. Listen to them, see how they relate with other people. Because we just live in a generation of selfish individuals who care for their own own interests. How can you say you love someone and then you can love their children that come from another woman? How can you be like that? How can you come and have your own child and then you're causing division? How can you not love someone that comes from the person you claim to love? How can you be mean to that? And how can you be so selfish where you can't protect your child? Well, I don't know. I just pray that this is in the minority and this is not majority of what's happening. But with the rate of divorce, with the rate of which breakups are happening and kids are being born into this situation, I don't know. We might have these kind of situations that are very scary and really, really, really annoying. So we should find a way to protect children. Anyways, I'll leave it at that and wish you the best for the week.